Hey, what is up, guys? Bluntguts here. This is a Watch Your Realms video. Thank you for tuning into my channel. I appreciate it. Please do like and subscribe if you do enjoy my content. That would really help me out. I would certainly appreciate it. We are about 36 hours or so away from the start of Season 4. Good God, it feels like forever since the last match of Season 3, but we are getting there, guys. I cannot wait. For those of you that are new to my channel, I post all of my Guild Wars attacks usually twice a week, as much as I can anyway, and it is my favorite content to make in this game, so I can't wait to get back to that. It feels like forever since I was able to do that, so I'm very, very excited about that. So please do tune into that if you are new to the channel. With that said, before we get started on Season 4, I wanted to make sure that I armed you guys with all of the bomb timings that you might need. So I am back doing another iteration of how to bomb. This time we're talking about central keeps. I'm going to show you how to bomb both defenses that are set up in the center lane, as well as by the soul crystal of the central keep map. I am going to give you timings both for level 5 and above bugs, as well as for level 4 and below bugs. And I've got chapters set up in here. Skip around. Only watch what pertains to what you're looking for and what pertains to your account. Without further ado, let's get into it. All right, guys, I'm going to show you how to use level 5 bombers to take out a defense like this that is set up by the Soul Crystal. And of course, I've got a Nightmare defense that I'm going against right now, which is one of the most common defenses that you're going to see out there, particularly in higher end GVG. So a lot of these are very similar. This is a variation of the Nightmare defenses. I'd say the things that are more often than not are going to be present in all of them is going to be Toreador, Hatset, and likely Arrogance. Then you're going to have some combination of a healer and a fighter or another tank. In this case, we've got Hollow and Abomination. So what we're going to do here is start off with these Skeletal Guardians. We're going to deploy one set when we get up to 10 costs. They are deployed in sets of 2, so we're going to wait until we get back up to 10 cost again. We're going to deploy another set of them, so there'll be 4 of them pathing forward. And then we're going to keep an eye on Toreador's ultimate. We need that to be at 20 seconds or lower. Otherwise, when we deploy the bombers, there's a good chance that his ultimate will still be up, and it will have an increased chance to stun and screw up our bombing run. So we don't want that, obviously. So we are going to wait until we see that at 20 seconds or under. I like to wait until like 19. That makes me feel a little bit more comfortable. I don't know that you necessarily need to, but 20 seconds at bare minimum. And then we are going to deploy our bombing run. We're going to drop 2 of the exploding bugs on this tile right in front of the spawn point. We're going to wait until we get back up to 6 cost, at which point the bombers will be somewhere around this corner over here. And then we're going to deploy 2 of the spiders on this tile that is the furthest from the spawn point. So as that happens, I'm going to deploy our first set of Skeletal Guardians here while I continue talking through this. The bugs are going to be ahead. The exploding bugs are going to be ahead of the spiders, but the spiders are faster, and they will slowly catch up as they path through this maze of a central keep. By the time they get down to this turn right here, kind of at the end of Toreador's range, that is when the spiders will jump ahead. It's also around the time that we're going to get back up to 4 costs, at which point I will drop in the Scalekin Warrior to give it speed boost to my bugs. Now, you don't necessarily need to do that. I was doing this strategy before the Scalekin Warrior was actually in the game, so I do know it works otherwise, but my experience, it does help out a bit. So I would say if you're trying to min-max here, you definitely should be doing that. And then after that, we're going to see who we get with the bombs. I think at minimum, we should get Hatset, but I've done this a couple times against this defense, and I've also gotten Arrogance and Hollow at different points. It really depends on where the bugs end up popping. If they bypass Abomination, they pop on Arrogance, then we're going to get all 3. If they don't, and they pop on Abomination, then it's just going to be Hatset. So really, beyond just the exploding bugs, what you need to think about here is, what are you going to do after the bombing run? You know, assuming you are successful, at minimum, we need to take out Hatset for the anti-air, right? And so afterwards, we're going to deploy air units that are going to be able to fly over. We're going to time it so that Arrogance's ultimate is not up when the flyers are going by, and that's going to end up being a win for us because Arrogance does not have enough damage to take down the flyers when he doesn't have his ultimate up. But some things that just to kind of keep in mind when you are trying to put one of these runs together on your own. I would also recommend that you get your guildmates to set up a similar defense so you can practice on it before you do it in a match. That is just infinitely helpful. Really, really helps out. So anyway, I'm going to unpause here. We're going to wait until we get back up to 10 cost, and then we will drop in more of these Skeletal Guardians. Skeleton Guardians, Skeletal Guardians. I guess either one probably is correct, right? So we're just waiting. We'll put it on 2x speed. And we're going to watch Torador's ultimate duration here. So is it 24 seconds, 23 seconds? I'll put it on 1x speed just to make my life a little bit easier here. 20. Remember I said I like to wait till 19. You can also see Hatsa did pop his ultimate. The Skeleton Guardians, for whatever reason, do seem to cause Hatsa to pop her ultimate, despite the fact that she does not have anybody in range right now for the ultimate to be popped. So, see, Torador's is at 19. Perfect. We're going to drop in 2 exploders on this tile closest to the spawn point. We'll unclick. Now we're waiting for 6 cost. And as soon as we get close to that, I am going to click and just kind of pause it. So now that I have Torador clicked, I can just click him repeatedly, and I get control of the meter that way. Now that I'm almost at 6, I'm going to drop 1 set of spiders, another set, and then we are just going to wait and hope that they are able to get the job done here. When we do get to 4 cost, we will be able to drop in our Scalekin Warrior, and that should give us a little bit more likelihood of success here. Although I do see Hatsa does have her ultimate back up, so that's not really great for us at the end of the day. But let's see. There she goes. All right. We got Hatsa and nothing else. So that is okay. At the end of the day, we're going to need to wait until we get back up to 10 costs. We're going to need to wait until we see Arrogance pop his ultimate. As soon as he pops his ultimate, that's when we're going to deploy our flyers. I know the timing of that seems odd, but by the time they path over to him, his ultimate duration will be done, and we will be able to safely fly on over. We got to be mindful of time, obviously, as well. But I would definitely recommend that you go and you check out my my speed testing video. It's going to give you an idea of how fast some of these units do move. So we can see, there we go. Arrogance just popped his ultimate, so we're going to do 1 and 2, and then we'll just put it on 2x speed, and we should be able to cruise on home. But yeah, a lot of these are very tight. At the end of the day, these central keeps, there's such a long distance to travel from the spawn point all the way to the soul crystal that you really do need to be timing things out properly if you do want to be successful with them. You can see they're taking shots from Arrogance, but at most he's going to get 1 of them, and I don't think he got any of them. So there you go, guys. That is how you do that. I'll be back for the next one. All right, guys. So we are going to try to take out this central keep defense, where the defense is set up in the center lane here. I think that this is honestly more challenging than doing one by the soul crystal oftentimes, just because you don't have as much setup time, meaning that you can't deploy 2 sets of spiders and 2 sets of bugs all at once and really overwhelm the defense. Instead, you're going to have to kind of pick and choose. Do you want to do 8 spiders and 2 exploding bugs? Do you want to do 4 exploding bugs and 4 spiders? It's really kind of up to you. I would say that when you are more worried about your defense, or excuse me, your bombing run getting killed by the enemy team, or some of those units getting picked off, then it probably makes more sense to spread out the risk, bring in 8 spiders, 2 exploders. Just more units on the map means less likely that the ones that you are hoping to keep alive will get hit. Of course, you could also make the argument that, 4 exploders means that 2 or 3 of them could get killed and you could still have a successful run. So really you're gonna have to play around and see what works best for you. However, what we are gonna do here is, first off, obviously we are going to take stock of what the enemy defense is going to do to us. So there are 2 range DPS that we have to worry about here. Boreas up here at the top. Obviously he is an AoE demon and he is going to just wreck our demon soldiers if we send them in there when he has his ult active. So we're going to want to avoid that. And similarly, Maul, although he doesn't do anywhere near as much damage as Boreas does, he does a lot of CC. He's got slows, he's got freeze, and he's got a big hit on his ultimate. So we're going to want to make sure that we're not deploying the ultimate, not deploying the bombing run at a time when his ultimate could impact them. So first thing we're going to do is wait until 10 cost. And then because we are worried about these range damage dealers, we are going to deploy first a Imperial Pharaoh Guard when we get to 10 costs. We're going to wait and see where we're at with the ultimates, but I have to imagine, because Boreas is going to have a 25-second ultimate, that we are going to want to deploy a second Imperial Pharaoh Guard, which at the end of the day is actually going to make our job easier, because they should not be able to be killed and they should be stacking up on Brokir. And that means that when the bombers do get there, 2 block is already going to be eaten up. It means more flexibility, more of a buffer, if you will, for when our bombers do get there, so that there's more chance that they're going to bypass Brokir's block. They are going to get back to Elder, and they're going to pop him. So we are at 10 cost right now, so I'm just going to drop in our first Pharaoh Guard right now, and then we're just going to be waiting until we get back up to 10 cost. After that, we are going to deploy 2 bombers on this middle tile right here, and then we'll do 1 spider on the back tile right there. And that is the way that I typically would do this. Again, you could flip-flop that and do 2 spiders, 1 bug, but it's completely up to you. So when we get back up to 10 cost, I'm going to drop in another Pharaoh Guard. I am going to do it on the front tile just to make sure that they are they're able to get down to Brokir. The final thing that you do want to consider here is Brokir A1. He gets the ability where when the shield from his ultimate does fade, he's going to freeze up to 5 units that are in melee range around him. So in an ideal world, we would like to see this shield fade before our bombing run gets there so that our bombing run does not get frozen. Similarly, I'm looking at Maw's rage cost right here, or rage timer, I should say, right here. He is about 100 before he's going to pop his ultimate again. I'd like to see that go out before I place my units. You can see Boreas is still charging up, so we've got plenty of time here. There's no rush. There goes Maul, so now we're going to do our deployment. So we'll do 1 exploding bug there. Excuse me, I said we're going to do 2. So 2 exploding bugs on that middle placement tile, and then 1 set of spiders on the tile right behind that. Spiders are faster, so they will catch up. We're also going to watch here. This is optional, but in my experience, it does help you out. If you are able to drop in one of these Scalekin warriors, that is going to help you out immensely. And so you saw our bombing run got frozen there, but they all got frozen. So timing should remain intact. We're going to drop our speed enabler right there. We're going to see, did we get any through? There we go. We got 1 through, at least. It looks like, unfortunately, Elder did not die. That is not great, but we were able to chip away at this. We're going to see if we can't still get a win here, but I'm not super hopeful, if I'm being honest with you. We got to wait for Boreas' ultimate to go down before we try anything else, but I do think that we're going to have an opportunity to at least try to sneak by with some dogs, and we'll also toss some spiders at it as well. So I think what we'll actually do is we'll do spiders first, and then we'll wait till 10 cost again, and then deploy double dogs after that. But once again, we do need to wait until Boreas' ultimate is down before we can give that a solid go. So I'm going to drop 1 set of spiders on this back tile here. Oh, I wasn't even thinking about the speed right there. So I guess the next thing we'll do is just do the dogs right afterwards, and we'll send 7 of them at them at once. And it looks like we got a couple through. Can we get 1 more through? There's another one that goes through. And so we are going to be good there. So it doesn't always work out exactly like you'd want it to, but we got the win. On to the next one. All right, so back for another central keep. Defenses by the Soul Crystal. It is I want to say it's a Toreador comp, but it's not actually a Toreador comp. And if you guys can see underneath the overlay here, but there is a Praetus over here, who is actually the lead on this, I guess, to bring in the true damage or whatever. But I don't know, 3 out of 5 of the units are Nightmare, so you would think Toreador would be the lead. He is not, but beggars can't be choosers. I'm on Forerunner right now. I'm kind of just plumbing my friends list, trying to find somebody that does have a defense that kind of matches what I'm trying to do here. So we've got Arrogance, then Toreador, then Baron going down the center lane here. We've got Vortex for heals. Praetus obviously is going to add some wrinkles into the mix. What we're going to do is we're going to take this down using level 4 bugs, which are slower. Obviously, they get a speed boost at level 5. So I had to log on over to my Forerunner server in order to show you guys this. What I'm going to do is we're going to start off at 10 cost. We're going to drop in one of these Fallen Templars, the Epic Defenders. They are going to path over. We're going to wait until 10 cost again, drop another one. It's going to continue pathing over. Then when we get back up to 10 cost, I'm going to deploy 2 of these exploding bugs on the frontmost tile over here. We're going to wait for 6 cost, and then we're going to deploy 2 of the spiders on this one, this top tile as well. So the exact same tile. We're just waiting until we get back up to 6 cost. Now, timing is important. You want to be dropping at almost the exact moment that you hit 6 cost again, because you want to minimize that time in between, and you want to make sure that the spiders have enough time to catch up to the exploding bugs and overtake them before they hit Baron, who is the frontmost tank over here. So that is the goal. We're also going to try to drop a speed booster when we do get up to 4 cost. After that, we got 10 cost right there. I'm going to drop in one of my Fallen Templars just to get this going, and then beyond that, we're going to see where we stand after that. We may be able to run in with dogs after that. I am realizing that I didn't bring in any flyers, which probably would have been the smart move here, but I have run this a couple times, and let's just say I'm not really all that worried about getting this getting into the soul crystal on this one. So with that said, let's just get up to 2 times speed. I will drop in a second one when we get back up to 10 costs, and then we will I'll slow it down for the bombing run when we get to it. All right, so our epic defenders are away. Pause it when we're in the 9 cost range. There we go. I'm sure this is coming across in there, but it is quite laggy. I'm just going to click all the way up to 10 cost here, and then we are going to drop in 1 and 2. Oops. And 2 exploding bugs there, and they should path on through. Now I'm going to click again when we get there, about halfway through 5 costs. We get all the way up to 6, and then now that we're close, I'm going to take one of these spiders over. We just flipped over. There's 2 spiders there, and we're just going to keep an eye on them as they path on through. You're going to notice that the distance almost looks kind of like when we dropped the exploding bugs on the previous one in the level 5 example. This is not perfect at the end of the day. There are some better ways that you could probably go about this, like counting rage or counting cost ticks and things like that. But for general purposes, this is quite effective. And now that we've got 4 costs, we can actually drop in one of these speedsters as well. As you can see, it's going to propel our bugs forward. We're going to get some nice penetration here. Hopefully they are going to pop, and there we go. The entire defense is down, with the exception of Torador, and there we just got all the way through. So, in an ideal world, they all work out like that, right? You are sending 12 units all at once, plus the 2 that were already stacked on them. So that is something that that is certainly helpful and nice to see when that happens. It doesn't always work out that way, but it is nice when it does happen like that. So it should be very repeatable. I just did that a number of times. This is certainly something that you can do on your own. But let me show you how you can do a middle lane with the level 4 bugs. I'll be right back with that. All right, guys, I have got another center lane central keep defense here. I'm going to show you the timings for this with level 4 and below bugs. So a couple things about the defense before we get started. We've got Magda here, who does knock back and heavy AoE damage during her ultimate. We're going to want to trigger that before we send in the bombing run. Similarly, Edith does a knockback and does AoE damage as well during her ultimate. So we want both of those to get popped before we deploy the bombing run. Even if they weren't doing a lot of damage during those ultimates, they're still going to knock back the bombers, and that can potentially throw things off, so we don't want that to be the case. Hex, not a great GVG hero, but still does a lot of single target damage, and it would not surprise me if he did pick off a couple of exploders if his ultimate is up, so we're going to want that to be gone as well. And then finally, we've got Maul over here, who has a low rage cost ultimate, does slows, does heavy AoE damage, does freezes, so we want to make sure that his ultimate is not going to be popped on top of our bombers when we deploy them as well. So what we're going to do first, and now we're at 10 costs, I'm going to drop in one of these Imperial Pharaoh Guards. I'm going to wait until we get back up to 10 costs. I'm going to drop another one in there. We're going to once again wait until we get to 10 costs, and then we're going to take advantage of the fact that our exploding bugs are slower. And because they're slower, we're actually going to be able to do 2 deployments of exploding bugs as well as 2 deployments of spiders, and still keep that timing intact where the spiders do move past the exploding bugs right before they impact the tank. So what we're going to do when we do deploy the bombing run is drop 2 of the exploders on this back tile. Then we're going to wait till 6 costs and drop 2 of the spiders up here. At that point, the exploders will be right up around here where my mouse pointer is. The spiders should move past the exploding bugs right around the spot where the Pharaoh Guard was. He's getting pushed back right now, but where he was before, which is right in this kind of corner right here, this first turn going down the lane. So they will take us some of Edith's block. Hopefully the exploders will go through, and then they will explode against Magda, taking out maybe Hex, but certainly Magda and possibly Edith as well. And that will clear the way for us to follow up with dogs. So that is the plan. I'm going to unclick here. We'll get things moving, and I'll show you how it's done in real time. So we're just going to drop one more Pharaoh Guard over here because we're waiting out ultimates, and we want to make sure that that Edith and Magda are not going to, mess up the timing here. So we're just going to wait for that to happen. And the other thing that I'm also noticing here is that Maul's ultimate He's at about 60% rage right now. I don't want to deploy our bombing run into that ultimate, so we're gonna wait until he goes before we deploy anybody up there. So he is at 450 out of 500 right now. It's like he's about to go. Just waiting for him to throw that shark. There goes the shark. We will drop in 2 sets of exploders here on the tile directly in front of the spawn point. We're waiting for 6 cost here. I will start to click when we're in the mid 5s. Whoops, that moved my camera in a way I didn't want it to. All right, we're at 6 now, so 1 and 2. And I'll see if I can't slow it down to the point when the spiders do pass the bugs, which should be right about here. You can kind of see the spiders moving ahead of the exploders here. And so what we hope is going to happen is that they're going to bypass Edith, and then they are going to pop on Magda. Let's see if that's going to happen here. Maybe it will, or they're just going to walk on past. I don't know. Oh, there we go. Okay, so now we actually got Edith as well. And look, it didn't even really matter because obviously this defense was not doing enough damage outside of their alt windows, so all of our units just ended up bypassing them. I'm not sure that it was actually geared either, so there is that. But the timings will work as long as you deploy them in the timeline that I showed right there. It is important that you kind of pause before you get up to 6 and deploy those spiders in the middle of the deployment. That is kind of the tricky part. If you are a little bit late on that, then it screws up the timing, and the exploders might get to the tank before your spiders do, meaning that they don't actually get where they need to go. They're going to pop on the tank and likely not kill them, because more often than not, tanks are not just going to fold like Edith did in this case right here. So, well, if you did make it this far, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Please do like and subscribe. That would really help me out. I'll be back in a couple days with my Guild Wars attacks for the first match of Season 1, probably posting that on Wednesday or on Thursday. Cannot wait. Can't tell you how excited I am going to be making that content again. Other than that, good luck to y'all. Thank you for watching. I do appreciate it. I will catch you all next time.